Hey everyone, and welcome to Rare Coin Lab. What you're about to see is a coin that looks exactly like the one in your pocket change, but beneath that familiar surface lies a secret that has collectors hunting through rolls of quarters by the thousands. Some of these have sold for more than a brand new car, and the difference comes down to details most people would never notice. Let's find out what makes this coin so special. First coin. The 1776 1976 Washington Bicentennial Quarter. It's a coin that, on the surface, appears familiar, a pocket change staple, a souvenir from a bygone era of American pride. But if you've ever glanced at one and wondered if it held more than just its face value, you were right to be curious. Within the iconic colonial drummer and the dual date lies a fascinating secret. A select few of these coins, authenticated and in pristine condition, have quietly sold for thousands of dollars at auction. And while the secret to their worth is hidden in plain sight, it's governed by a complex interplay of history, metallurgy, and the unforgiving scrutiny of professional grading. By the end of this documentary, you will understand exactly what separates a common pocket piece from a certified numismatic treasure, and discover the specific factors that can elevate this coin from its humble origins to a highly coveted collectible. This coin was born from a moment of national reflection. As the United States approached its 200th birthday, the nation sought a tangible way to honor its legacy. The Treasury Department and the Mint decided to mark the bicentennial not with a commemorative issue, but by redesigning 3 circulating coins for a 2-year period. For the quarter, the standard eagle reverse was retired, replaced by a striking design featuring a colonial drummer boy and a victory torch encircled by 13 stars, symbolizing the original colonies. The obverse, featuring John Flanagan's classic portrait of George Washington, was modified to bear the dual date, 1776-1976, a visual reminder of the 2 centuries of history the nation was celebrating. Importantly, no quarters dated 1975 were minted. Production of the bicentennial design began in that year and continued through 1976, making the dual date a unique 2-year type coin that stands apart in the Washington Quarter series. Our specific focus, the coin bearing the D Mint mark, was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility that played a massive role in producing these historic coins. The sheer volume is staggering. Over 860 million bicentennial quarters were minted in Denver. To put that in perspective, that's a larger mintage than many entire series of classic American coins. This high production number establishes the first and most crucial rule of numismatics: rarity is the engine of value. Despite being pulled from circulation by collectors and the public for decades, the sheer quantity produced means that circulated examples are extraordinarily common. You can still find them in your change, and their value is generally just 25 cents. This abundance is the very reason why the few coins that are exceptional, the ones that survived in a near-perfect state or possess unique minting errors, stand out so dramatically. Composition of these coins is key to their survival and historical context. Unlike the pre-1965 quarters that were 90% silver, the 1976 D is composed of a copper-nickel clad layer over pure copper core. This durable composition, weighing in at 5.67 grams and measuring 24.3 millimeters in diameter, was designed for the rigors of daily commerce, which ironically makes finding a pristine example even more difficult. The clad quarter is a product of modern minting, and its tougher surface tends to show contact marks and bag scratches easily. Furthermore, the bicentennial quarters were known for being inconsistently struck. A common weak area is the details of the drummer's drum on the reverse. A coin that is both uncirculated and possesses a full, complete strike with all drum details visible is a significant step up from the average high-grade coin, a nuance that serious collectors understand and seek out. This brings us directly to the cornerstone of collector value: professional grading. A coin pulled from circulation might appear beautiful to the naked eye, but under the 5x to 10x magnification of a grading service like PCGS or NGC, it can tell a different story. The difference between a Mint State 65, MS65 coin and an MS67 coin is an astronomical leap in both scarcity and price. An MS-65 example is relatively common and might command a modest premium, perhaps ranging between $25 and $300 depending on eye appeal and market demand. However, the population reports from PCGS reveal a stark drop-off. There are only a few dozen examples of the 1976 D Bicentennial quarter in the ultra-elite MS-68 grade, and none are currently graded higher. It is this razor-thin margin of perfection that creates the potential for values far exceeding the norm, with pristine examples having legitimate collector interest and price tags that can reach into the low four-figure range for the most premium, gem-quality uncirculated pieces. Beyond the condition of the coin itself, the world of mint errors and die varieties adds another layer of complexity and potential value. The 1976 D quarter is known for several types of doubling errors. The double die obverse, where the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust shows a distinct, sharp second impression, can be worth anywhere from a few $100s to over $5,000 for the most dramatic examples. Other production anomalies, such as the coin being struck off-center or being struck twice by the dies, create visually dramatic errors that are highly prized by specialists. One authenticated 1976 D-clad quarter with a rare filled mint mark variety, where the D is partially or completely blocked by grease or debris, has been publicly offered for several $1,000s. It's critical to emphasize that these prices are achieved only by certified, authenticated examples, and the vast majority of bicentennial quarters do not possess these features. The thrill lies in the hunt and the knowledge required to spot a true rarity. For the serious collector, authentication is non-negotiable. A raw, ungraded coin with a potential error will always sell for a fraction of what a certified, slabbed example will bring. Services like PCGS and NGC not only verify the authenticity of the coin and any errors, but also assign an official grade that acts as a universally recognized standard of quality. This grading process, combined with a detailed look at the coin's surface, luster, strike, and overall eye appeal, is what determines its place in the collector market. A pristine MS-67 with original unbroken luster will be significantly more valuable than a MS-67 with a dull or unappealing surface, demonstrating that even when the grade is the same, the characteristics of the coin itself can drive competition among collectors. In the end, the 1976 D Bicentennial quarter serves as a remarkable case study in modern coin collecting. It is a coin of profound historical significance, celebrating a moment of national unity and pride. It is also a coin where value is almost entirely contingent on the factors of condition, preservation, and era attribution. Most pieces will forever remain a piece of history worth a quarter, but a select few, the virtually flawless examples and the unique mint errors, have proven to be worthy of a place in any serious collection. As we've explored, a coin that is certified in exceptional condition, like MS-67 or MS-68, or one with a rare, authenticated error, has the potential to be valued well over $1,000. It is a testament to the numismatic principle that rarity and perfection, even in modern coinage, are the ultimate drivers of value. Next coin, the 1965 Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks like any other piece of pocket change, a familiar face that has been in circulation for generations, but buried within its copper-nickel-clad surface is one of the most significant transitions in American numismatic history. This coin was born from necessity, from a moment when the United States was forced to fundamentally change the very metal that comprised its currency. Yet within this seemingly common coin lies a secret. A select few of these quarters, authenticated and in near-perfect condition, have quietly commanded prices that would make any collector take a second look. And while the story of the 1965 quarter is one of dramatic change, its true value is determined by a complex set of factors that we will explore, revealing what separates a face-value quarter from a certified numismatic treasure. The year 1965 was a turbulent one in American history. The nation was in the midst of the Vietnam War, the civil rights movement was reshaping society, and the economy was facing a significant challenge, a massive silver shortage. For decades, the United States Mint had produced dimes, quarters, and half dollars with a 90% silver composition, but the rising price of the precious metal was making it economically unviable. The public, realizing the intrinsic value of their silver coins, began hoarding them, effectively pulling them out of circulation. This created a crippling coin shortage, threatening commerce and daily life. The government's solution was swift and decisive. On July 23, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Coinage Act, which authorized the elimination of silver from dimes and quarters. The 1965 quarter, therefore, was not just a new coin, it was a new kind of currency, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. This transition makes the 1965 quarter a unique first. It is the inaugural year for the clad composition, featuring a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy, the same metal used in the Jefferson nickel. This new composition, while durable, lacked the precious metal content of its predecessors. To further discourage hoarding and ensure a smooth transition, the Mint made another radical decision. They suspended the use of mint marks for all coins struck between 1965 and 1967. This means that even though billions of these quarters were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, none of them bear a P, D, or S mint mark, making them all appear to be from Philadelphia. This very fact presents a unique challenge for collectors, as their origin becomes a historical footnote rather than a visible identifier. Sheer mintage of the 1965 Washington quarter is staggering. Official records show that over 1.8 billion business strike examples were produced. To put that in perspective, that's more coins than many entire coin series combined. This astronomical number establishes the most fundamental rule of numismatics. Rarity is the engine of value. The law of supply and demand dictates that with so many coins in existence, the vast majority are worth only their face value. You can still find them in your pocket change, and their value is essentially 25 cents. This is why the few coins that survived in immaculate, near-perfect condition are the ones that stand out so dramatically to knowledgeable collectors. While the business strikes are common, the Mint offered another type of coin in 1965 that has become a crucial part of this story: the Special Mint Set, or SMS. With the suspension of proof coin production, the Mint created these special mint sets as a mid-grade alternative for collectors, selling them directly to the public for $4 each. These coins were struck with specially prepared, sandblasted dies that gave them a unique satin-like finish, a soft, muted luster that is distinctly different from the brilliant, reflective surface of a proof coin. The 1965 SMS quarter is noticeably scarcer in high grades than the business strike. Today, the population of 1965 SMS quarters graded at the ultra-elite MS68 level is exceptionally low, with approximately 60 known examples and none graded higher. This scarcity, coupled with their aesthetic appeal, makes them far more desirable to collectors. The quest for a perfect 1965 quarter is a battle against the very nature of the minting process. The coins, produced at breakneck speed to alleviate the coin shortage, are notorious for having weak strikes and numerous contact marks. Finding a pristine, brilliant, uncirculated example is a challenge that tests the patience of even the most dedicated roll searcher. Because of this, the difference between a coin graded Mint State 65, MS65, and an MS67 or MS68 is an astronomical leap in both scarcity and price. In fact, an MS68 example represents a mere 1.13% of all 1965-1998 Washington quarters graded by NGC, a testament to its extreme rarity. It is this razor-thin margin of perfection that creates the potential for values far exceeding the norm. Beyond the condition of the coin itself, the world of mint errors adds another layer of complexity and potential fortune. The 1965 quarter is known for several fascinating error types that are highly prized by specialists. One of the most spectacular is the transitional error, where a 1965 quarter was accidentally struck on a 90% silver planchet leftover from the previous year. These rare mistakes are worth thousands, often tens of thousands of dollars. Other anomalies, such as double die obverse varieties, massive die clashes, and dramatic die cracks also command significant premiums. For example, one authenticated 1965 quarter with a dramatic die crack that left the eagle's right wing appearing detached has become a coveted specimen among era collectors. However, it is critical to emphasize that these prices are achieved only by certified, authenticated examples, and the vast majority of 1965 quarters do not possess these features. For the serious collector, authentication is the cornerstone of value. A raw, ungraded coin with a potential error will always sell for a fraction of what a certified, slabbed example will bring. Services like PCGS and NGC not only verify the authenticity of the coin and any errors, but also assign an official grade that acts as a universally recognized standard of quality. This grading process, combined with a detailed look at the coin's surface, luster, strike, and overall eye appeal, is what determines its place in the collector market. A pristine MS68 with original unbroken luster will be significantly more valuable than an MS68 with a dull or unappealing surface, demonstrating that even when the grade is the same, the characteristics of the coin itself can drive competition among collectors. In the end, the 1965 Washington quarter is a fascinating case study in modern coin collecting. It is a coin of profound historical significance, marking the end of the silver era in American coinage and the beginning of the clad era that continues today. It is a coin where value is almost entirely contingent on the factors of condition, preservation, and era attribution. Most pieces will forever remain a piece of history worth a quarter, but a select few, the virtually flawless examples and the unique mint errors, have proven to be worthy of a place in any serious collection. As we've explored, a coin that is certified in exceptional condition like MS67 or MS68, or one with a rare authenticated error, has the potential to be valued well over $1,000, with unique transitional errors or exceptionally graded special mint set coins commanding even higher prices. It is a testament to the numismatic principle that rarity and perfection, even in modern coinage, are the ultimate drivers of value. Next up, hold a 1966 Washington quarter in your palm, and you might feel like you're holding nothing more than pocket change, a familiar, unassuming piece of copper-nickel-clad metal. But look closer, and you're actually holding a tangible piece of American history, a coin born from economic crisis and a dramatic shift in how the nation made its money. This coin is part of a fascinating story where the ordinary can become extraordinary, and where a few subtle details can elevate a face-value quarter into a prized collectible. Throughout this documentary, we're going to embark on an investigation together, examining this coin like a seasoned numismatic detective. We will learn what the experts look for, what separates the common from the scarce, and how an authenticated example of this coin has the potential to command a significant collector premium. To truly understand the 1966 quarter, we have to go back to the mid-1960s, a period of immense change and upheaval in the United States. The country was deeply embroiled in the Vietnam War, and domestically, the economy was facing a serious problem, a massive coin shortage. The price of silver had risen to the point that the 90% silver content in dimes, quarters, and half dollars was worth more than the face value of the coins themselves. The public, recognizing this, began hoarding silver coins, effectively pulling them out of circulation and crippling commerce. The government's response was swift and decisive. On July 23, 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Coinage Act, which authorized the elimination of silver from dimes and quarters. The 1966 quarter, then, was part of the new normal, the first full year of production for the new copper-nickel-clad composition, a move that marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new one in American coinage. This new composition is central to the coin's identity and its value proposition. Unlike the 90% silver quarters that preceded them, these coins are composed of a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of a copper-nickel alloy, which gives them their distinctive look. This specification is meticulously detailed, a weight of 5.67 grams, a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a reeded edge. The design itself, however, remained a classic. The obverse features the iconic profile of the first president, George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse depicts a majestic heraldic eagle, a design that has graced the quarter for generations. The fact that there is no mint mark on a 1966 quarter is another crucial detail, as the mint suspended the use of mint marks from 1965 to 1967 to discourage hoarding, meaning a 1966 quarter could have been struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint without any visible indication. This brings us directly to the core of this numismatic investigation: rarity. The 1966 Washington quarter is, by any measure, a common coin. The official mintage stands at a staggering 821,101,500 business strike examples. This astronomical number establishes the most fundamental rule of numismatics: supply and demand. With over 821 million coins struck, the vast majority are worth only their face value or a modest premium for circulated examples, which are often found in pocket change. However, as is the case with many modern coins, the value for the 1966 quarter is not found in its abundance, but in its condition. The higher the grade, the more elusive and valuable the coin becomes. As one numismatic source notes, in MS-67 condition, it is scarce, with less than 100 examples graded by PCGS, making MS-67 examples extremely scarce and highly sought after. This scarcity in the highest grades is what creates the potential for a significant value leap. For a serious collector, the professional grading of a coin is the ultimate seal of approval and the key to unlocking its true potential. A raw, ungraded coin, no matter how beautiful it appears, will always be viewed with skepticism compared to one certified by a service like PCGS or NGC. These services scrutinize the coin for every minute detail, from the sharpness of the strike to the presence of any contact marks or abrasions. The difference between a coin graded mint state 65, MS65, and an MS67 or MS68 is not just a number. It represents a monumental leap in both scarcity and price. For example, while a 1966 quarter in the MS68 grade is exceptionally rare, with only a handful known, its value can be thousands of dollars, with some auction records and price guides suggesting values over $5,000 for a flawless example. This demonstrates that even in a year with a high mintage, perfection is not just rare, it is historically significant. Beyond the standard business strike, the 1966 quarter was also produced in a special mint set SMS. With the suspension of proof coin production, the mint created these sets as a mid-grade alternative for collectors, struck with specially prepared dies that gave the coins a unique, satiny finish. While these SMS quarters are also common in lower grades, a pristine example in the top grades is a different story. The population reports for the 1966 SMS quarter in MS68 is extremely low, with only a handful certified, making them highly desirable to the discerning collector and far more valuable than their business strike counterparts. This pursuit of perfection highlights a core tenet of the hobby: the thrill of the hunt and the satisfaction of finding a coin that has survived the passage of time in a near-flawless state. However, the investigation doesn't stop at standard strikes and mint sets. The 1966 quarter also holds a place in the fascinating world of mint errors. While the vast majority of coins are struck correctly, the mint's high-speed production process occasionally produces fascinating anomalies that are eagerly sought after by error specialists. The most famous of these is the 1966 quarter struck on a copper-nickel dime planchet. Because the dime planchet is smaller and thinner than a quarter planchet, the resulting coin is severely off-center, with only a portion of the design visible. Such dramatic errors are exceptionally rare and can command prices far exceeding a normal quarter. Other notable errors for this year include double die varieties, where a slight misalignment during the die-making process creates a distinct, ghost-like doubling of the design elements, particularly on the obverse lettering. While a well-circulated double die example might be worth a few $100s, a mint state example could realistically exceed $1,000, as one auction record for a 1966 double-die reverse quarter in XF45 condition demonstrates, selling for $920. In the end, the 1966 Washington quarter serves as a compelling case study in modern coin collecting. It's a coin of profound historical significance, marking the transition to the clad composition that continues to define our currency today. For most people, it will forever be a piece of history worth a quarter, a humble reminder of a specific moment in American history. However, for the informed collector, it presents an intriguing opportunity. Whether it's a pristine, high-grade business strike that has survived decades without a mark, a special mint-set coin with its unique satin finish, or a spectacular mint era, the 1966 quarter has the potential to be a significant treasure. As we've discovered, a coin certified in exceptional condition like MS-67 or MS-68, or one with a rare, authenticated era, can be valued well over $1,000, with unique transitional errors or exceptionally graded special mint-set coins commanding even higher prices. It is a testament to the numismatic principle that rarity and perfection, even in modern coinage, are the ultimate drivers of value. Last coin. Hold a 1967 Washington quarter up to the light, and you are holding a piece of American history that almost wasn't made. It's a coin born from a crucible of economic crisis, minted during a 3-year experimental period that saw the complete suspension of mint marks and the elimination of traditional proof coins, a story that begins in the mid-1960s when a national coin shortage reached a breaking point. By 1967, the United States Mint was operating at full capacity, having struck over $1.5 billion of these copper-nickel-clad quarters in an effort to replace the silver coins that had been hoarded out of existence by a public that recognized their intrinsic value. But what is truly fascinating about this coin, and what we will uncover together in this investigation, is that while the vast majority are worth only their face value, a microscopic fraction of these 1967 quarters have become numismatic treasures. We will explore the secrets that separate the common from the spectacular, the telltale signs of value that experienced collectors hunt for, and the dramatic market results that have made authenticated examples of this coin the subject of intense collector interest. To understand the 1967 quarter, we must first understand its context. The Coinage Act of 1965 was a seismic event in American numismatics, signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson to combat a severe coin shortage fueled by the rising price of silver. This legislation did two things that define the 1967 quarter. It eliminated silver from the dime and quarter, making the new coins a copper-nickel-clad composition, a copper core sandwiched between layers of a cupronickel al. And it also instituted a temporary ban on mint marks for all coins struck between 1965 and 1967 to discourage hoarding. This means that while a 1967 quarter could have been struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints, there is no physical indication of which facility produced it, making them all appear to be P-mint coins. This suspension of proof coin production also led to the creation of the Special Mint Set, a mid-grade collectible intended to fill the void for numismatists, which adds another layer of nuance to the series. The obverse design, a left-facing profile of the first president, was the work of sculptor John Flanagan, whose classic portrait has graced the quarter since 1932. The reverse features a majestic heraldic eagle, its wings fully extended, clutching a bundle of arrows with an olive branch below, a symbol of American strength and peace. The copper-nickel composition, weighing in at 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, was chosen for its durability and resistance to wear, a critical factor for a coin intended for heavy circulation. This durability, however, is also what makes finding a truly flawless example so difficult. These coins were subjected to the rigors of commerce, and their clad surfaces, while tough, are prone to the subtle scuffs and bag marks that come from high-speed minting and decades of handling. Now let's talk about value, and this is where the story gets genuinely exciting. The 1967 Washington quarter is one of the most common modern coins, with a mintage of over 1.5 billion business strikes. Because of this, a worn, circulated example is worth just its face value of 25 cents, and even a nice uncirculated roll can be had for a modest premium. However, as with any coin, condition is king. The difference between a coin graded mint state 67, MS67, and a near-perfect MS68, or the sole certified MS69, is an astronomical leap in both scarcity and price. As one expert analysis points out, a PCGS MS67 example might have sold for a few $100s in the mid-2000s, but the market has seen significant corrections, and today, a lower-end MS67 can be found for under $100. But this is where the investigation deepens. The real prize for a collector is the top-tier coin. The current top population grade at PCGS is MS68, with only a handful of examples certified, while NGC has certified a single coin at the MS69 level, making it an absolute condition rarity. This coin, described as practically flawless with brilliant surfaces, sold at a public auction in August 2024 for a staggering $8,156.25. In contrast, another PCGS MS68 coin, a grade that is itself exceptionally rare, sold for $8,812.50 in 2017, but hammered for only $4,802 years later, a decline that underscores the volatility and nuance of the high-end market. This pursuit of perfection highlights a core tenet of the hobby, the thrill of the hunt and the satisfaction of finding a coin that has survived decades in a near-flawless state. The existence of such a coin, the MS69, represents the absolute pinnacle of survival for a modern clad coin. Beyond the standard business strikes, the 1967 quarter was also produced in those special mint sets, SMS, we mentioned earlier. These sets were sold directly to collectors, and the coins exhibit a unique, satiny finish that distinguishes them from the frosty luster of a business strike. While these SMS quarters are also common in lower grades, a pristine example in the top grades is a different story. As of recent population reports, there are 237 special strike quarters graded SB67 by PCGS, illustrating that while not as rare as the top-tier business strikes, they are still carefully collected. A significant number of these special mint sets were produced, over 1.8 million, but their unique finish and the fact that they were specifically saved by collectors makes them a distinct and collectible variety. And for the variety hunter, there is even a known double-die obverse variety for the 1967 SMS quarter, designated FS101, which adds another layer of intrigue and potential value for the discerning numismatist. The investigation also leads us into the fascinating world of mint errors. While the vast majority of coins are struck correctly, the mint's high-speed production process occasionally produces anomalies eagerly sought after by specialists. The 1967 quarter is known for several types of errors. For instance, a lot of 3-error coins, including those with a clipped planchet and broad strike, sold at auction for $123.38, demonstrating a modest but real market for such pieces. A more dramatic example, a clipped planchet error graded MS62, has been offered at major auctions, showing the range of these collectible mistakes. However, a word of caution, there has been a recent rash of fraudulent listings on secondary markets, with sellers making exaggerated claims of rare errors on ordinary coins. Any serious collector should verify their finds against established resources and be wary of unsubstantiated claims. In the end, the 1967 Washington quarter is a perfect case study in modern coin collecting, a coin of profound historical significance that marks a transition from silver to a new era of copper-nickel-clad coinage. For most people, it will forever be a piece of history worth a quarter, a humble reminder of a specific moment in American history. However, for the informed collector, it presents an intriguing opportunity. Whether it's a pristine business strike in MS68, the sole MS69 that shattered auction records, or a spectacular mint error, the 1967 quarter has the potential to be a significant treasure. It is a testament to the numismatic principle that rarity and perfection, even in the most common of coins, are the ultimate drivers of value. As you inspect your own coins, consider the journey they have taken and the secrets they might hold. The next coin you examine could be the one that defies expectations.